This is Jack Gotti's lawyer about the cross-exam, the gang expert, Marissa VIVERITO. Yeah, the one in the video with Woody. Weinstein probably ready to get a little bit spicy. Leave a comment. Subscribe to the channel. Let me know what style you think you ready to use.
Good afternoon, Investigator VIVERITO.
Good afternoon, Mr. Weinstein.
How are you doing
Miss.
today?
Good. How are you?
Ho. I know she ain't doing like that. Off top.
Good afternoon, Investigator VIVERITO.
Good afternoon, Mr. Weinstein.
How are you doing today?
Bro.
Good. How are you?
Good. As you know, I represent Mr. Kendrick.
Yes, I do.
All right. Let me ask you a few questions. Excuse me.
Why Shard laughing, y'all? Look at Shard. Look at Shard.
Permission to approach, Your Honor.
He going for approach off top.
I'm going to show you DK16. Do you recognize the individual in that picture?
I do.
I'd like to admit DK16 into evidence.
Let him cook, y'all.
Permission to publish?
Let him cook.
In Exhibit DK16, who do you see?
Dwayne Carter.
And Dwayne Carter is also known as Little Wayne, right?
Oh,
He is.
boot smoke. Boot smoke. Boot smoke.
Okay. In the
Put boot smoke in the chat.
image that is on the right side of the two photographs,
Yes,
you see his arm there, correct?
I do.
Do you see ESPN on his arm?
I do.
And what do you maintain
Touchdown.
that the ESPN, or do you know what the ESPN on his arm stands for?
On him,
You went 90 yards on the opening drive. This is crazy.
since he's not a member of YSL, I couldn't tell you what that stands for.
Defense
But he's not a
never
member of
expected him to go
YSL,
long.
correct?
Correct.
And yet he has ESPN on his arm.
Correct. Like I could have a star, Bloods could have a star. Different tattoos mean different things to different people.
So the ESPN on his arm could mean ESPN, the sports network, correct?
Lil Wayne made a special drop in the trial after all, y'all. Look at him. He's smiling too. That's the Wayne y'all love. He probably was just working out. Y'all like this Wayne.
As not being a member of YSL, yes.
So if you're a member of YSL and you have ESPN on your arm, are you saying the only thing it could possibly mean is your interpretation of ESPN?
That's what I've seen it mean thus far with members of YSL.
And that's the only thing you believe it could mean?
As far as members of YSL, yes.
So the fact that my client was a football star at Grady. Okay.
Uh-oh.
Do you know if my client played football at Grady?
I do now.
Do you know my client got a scholarship to University of Georgia as a football player? I'm asking if she knows it.
Sustained. You can ask if she knows whether it's true or not.
Do you know if my
Girl, you know it's true.
client got a scholarship to the University
I've
of
heard
Georgia?
that.
You've heard that.
Oh,
Okay.
you heard that, but you ain't do your research on that. Brady evidence. Yeah. How you going to investigate for a homie, but you ain't check my background to see I run a 4-2? Stop playing.
And so would you find it surprising that someone that got a football scholarship to the University of Georgia might like ESPN, the network?
I mean, they could like it, but I don't know if I'm sure he likes other TV channels also that aren't tattooed. on
Oh,
him.
that's irrelevant. Objection? Objection? Yeah, this witness is being hostile, Your Honor. I don't know what made her talk about his other choice of channels liking when I'm speaking directly about my man liking ESPN. I don't know what made this lady spin. She too educated to try to spin like that, Your Honor. She's been hostile, and I don't want to pop her.
So if it's tattooed on you, it must mean ESPN, that you're a member of YSL? You just said that Dwayne Carter has ESPN on his arm.
Objection.
but he's not a member of YSL.
Sustained.
You just said that ESPN on Lil Wayne is not a YSL insignia, correct?
Correct. Like I could say, you can see a college sorority girl with a star tattoo on her, right? And then you can go down to the prison and see members of blood gangs with 5-point stars tattooed on them. It's going to have
She just smoked her own case. She just smoked her own case. A lot of people got stars. So when we putting pictures of star tattoos in our RICOs, we are reaching. Because we not including those people. She just smoked her own boots. She crazy. That lady crazy. She smoked her own boots. She don't even know no better. But who remember me bringing up sororities and fraternities?
look at everything on an individual basis. So I can't make that determination. When it comes to YSL members, when you see ESPN associated with a YSL member, I have not seen it mean of anything other than every slime play nasty.
And you said you could see a sorority girl with a star on her, correct?
Correct.
And you could see a University of Georgia football player with ESPN on their arm too, correct?
Correct, but they're both not members of a blood gang or YSL.
Okay. Mr. Kokomo, can I get you to come up? May I approach again, Your Honor?
You may.
How can we tell the difference?
You got the DK15 video.
Tap the like button, y'all. Salute. Doug Ray, take her to the church. He going in. Look at him. Look at him.
Mr. Kokomo is going to show you a video. I just want to know if you recognize that video.
I smell bacon.
Oh, yeah.
Bacon.
Would you play a piece of that?
Can I stop for a second?
That's either some burning boots, some brakes, some bad brakes, or bacon.
Is that going to show my face on camera?
No, we're not going to.
Okay, I just want to make sure. I just want to make sure.
I'm not going to show you.
Okay, yes.
We already got your
absolutely.
face, baby. We got your face, baby. You ain't that special, baby. We got your face. We got your face.
Do you recognize that
We
video?
got
I
your
do.
face.
I'm not going to publish this video, but I'd like to introduce DK15 into evidence.
We got your face.
Okay,
Got your face. You ain't slick.
it's admitted.
You ain't slick.
Now I'm going to show you a still from the video.
Sure,
Okay, do you recognize that?
I do.
And do you recognize the individual in that?
That is me. I do.
Okay. I am going to introduce DK15A. And it's redacted. Are you okay with that redaction?
No objection.
Okay.
All right, and that's a still from the video.
Yes, it's
Submitted.
DK15A. It's a still from the video, and it's been redacted to remove the image of Investigator VIVERITO.
Thank you. It's
Okay.
admitted.
Oh,
Would you please publish DK15A? Okay. Who is in this still image from DK15?
That is me.
Okay. Do you recall when this was taken?
That was on,
busted.
March 9th of 2020. I'm sorry, May 9th of 2022
She
And where was it
busted.
taken?
at 355 Allison Drive, Northeast, Atlanta, Georgia, 30342.
And whose home was that at the time?
The home of Jeffery Williams.
She
And
busted.
where in the home are you?
Should be the master bedroom closet leading to the bathroom.
And in the video that you watched, which I'm not publishing, again, because it has your image on it.
Correct.
What are you doing at that point in the video?
We're inventorying the jewelry and items that are in the home.
Okay. And is this image that is taken that's part of your inventorying
No, bring it
procedure
back.
in
That
the
was
home?
her.
Is that correct?
It's a documentation procedure, yes.
Okay. And do you recognize what you're holding in your hand in this still image?
I do.
And what are you holding in your hand?
A watch of some sort.
Okay.
Of some
do you know
sort.
if do you recognize that as a Richard Mille watch?
I guess, yes.
And
Oh,
that's
you
a
don't
pink
know.
watch, correct?
It's pink and either pink and light pink or pink and white, yes.
it's a pink band, correct?
Correct.
And it has a white ceramic, I'll call it the body of the watch.
White, yeah, I guess it's white if you say so, yes.
Okay. After you took this image and you did this inventorying process, where did the watch go after this?
Whoa.
If you watch the video in its entirety, we're inventorying everything in the closet. There's a bunch of small boxes everywhere. So if you watch the video in its entirety, you take it and the watch is photographed like this, box is closed, it's taken and put up on the shelf in the upper left-hand corner, and the inventorying continues, and then jewelry starts getting packed up and getting ready for the evidence team to come and take it down to property.
Okay. Since November the 4th of this year, have you spoken to the state about this particular watch, the pink watch with the white band that I've been calling the Richard Mill or Richard Milley watch?
To the state, no, but I've seen the, Twitter coverage of it going missing or whatever you want to.
Maybe.
Well, no. I mean, there's a camera in here. They know that it's being live streamed. You just are not supposed to be watching it.
Oh.
And you asked that in the evidence. So
Well,
just keep moving.
I wasn't watching the trial, but my name.
Don't worry about it.
Okay.
Just keep moving.
Okay.
Unless you need to approach about something
No,
else.
Oh,
that's
she
fine.
got accused of that?
Okay. So tell me, and I'd like to know about this. Tell me in the whatever coverage you saw, what did you learn about this watch that came up in this trial?
Sustained. Well, yeah, sustained.
She says she's seen
Okay.
it. Uh-oh, they ain't trouble.
So after this watch was inventoried and you left it for, I'm sorry, who did you say takes the watch after the inventorying process?
Okay. So if you watch the video in its entirety.
Which I can't show here, but
Right.
go ahead.
But if you watched it, like I watched it.
Why can't we show
The
it?
watch gets boxed back up and placed up on the shelf, and it gets left there by the team as as an accident. It was left there. The home was
What? Accident.
then turned over to Mr. Williams Sr. and Mr. Garfield Lamond to take possession of the home.
And is it the normal process when you're taking jewelry from the home or high valued goods that you leave behind a $500,000 watch on a shelf?
First, I don't know the value of it. Second of all, like I said, there were numerous jewelry boxes. It was, if you watch the video, everybody in there had on body cameras. I made sure I was on camera at all times. There was cameras throughout the home. So you would be able to see if one of us removed a watch, the box remained in the closet. And like I said, the home was turned over to Mr. Williams Sr. and Mr. Garfield Lamond, who were the two people on scene that took custody of the home for Mr. Williams.
Okay, can we go back to my question?
Sure.
Sure. Is it the normal procedure to leave high-valued items behind when you're doing a search and then a seizure pursuant to a warrant?
Objection out of relevance and accident.
No, it's not, especially when they brag about how much money they made for the police off of the stuff they confiscated and sold. Yeah, if you go to, they got certain procedures where they basically brag about, yeah, we took this, we took and earned all this for, this police station and this from, the stuff we confiscated. So, yeah, they be proud of it. And they do real precise documentation of what they took, the value of it and all that. I got work of it. I got paperwork. Man.
Wasn't answered, Your Honor.
Overruled.
I don't know if there's necessarily a procedure on what you take or what you don't. Like I said, it got left behind. There were other things, like other items of evidence that I had asked to be taken, such as photographs and artwork that had relevance to this case that were left behind by the evidence team. It was quite a big operation. There was a hostile crowd gathering at the bottom of the driveway, so we were trying to speed it up to get out of there.
Here we go with the fake hostile crowd
So
again.
are you telling me that law enforcement has no procedure with what you do with high-value items that are subject to a seizure warrant?
Objection on relevance, accident.
It's asked and answered at this point.
Okay. So the watch you say was left behind. What else wasn't done according to your instructions at the home that day?
I believe there were 2 pieces of artwork that were, one was Mr. Williams in a general uniform with snakes on his arm, and then one was Mr. Williams as like the Jesus at the Last Supper with all the people around him that I thought were relevant, that were not.
Wow.
Taken. And like I said, it started to get pretty hostile out there, so we were trying to speed things up.
You said that there were many people with body cams in the
Correct.
home at the time. How many people, approximately, at the time of this raid of the home, let's call it that, were wearing body cams?
Almost everybody.
And did these body cams capture Mr. Kendrick within the home? I
believe they caught Mr. Kendrick running from the home.
That's not the question I asked.
They caught him outside of the home. I don't know how to better come answer the question.
It's either a yes, no.
No.
Is there body cam image of Mr. Kendrick within Mr. Williams' home?
The body camera image I saw was him running from the home.
Is there body cam image of Mr.
Answer
Williams
yes or no, and then you can explain.
in the home?
I haven't reviewed all of the entry team's body camera, but no.
Okay. Did you see Mr. Kendrick in Mr. Williams' home?
On that, by the time I arrived at the location, the entry was already made. So I did not. No.
You did not. Okay. Did you? There were approximately a half a dozen firearms found within the home, correct?
Correct.
Have you seen any images of Mr. Kendrick possessing any of those firearms?
I have not.
Have you seen any images of Mr. Kendrick near those firearms?
I have not.
There were drugs found in the home, correct?
Correct.
Did you see Mr. Kendrick with any of those drugs?
No.
Did you see Mr. Kendrick anywhere near any of those drugs?
No.
As far as you know, was Mr. Kendrick in actual possession of any of those drugs?
No, I wasn't there when they made entry.
Have you spoken to anyone? No, let me take that back. Did you speak to Mr. Kendrick at all at that time?
I did not.
Okay. As far as you know, did Mr. Kendrick have any of those drugs, as far as you know?
As far as I know, no.
And as far as you know, did he have any of those guns?
I just know he was in the home where they were located at some point that day.
Okay. Let's talk about the mob ties video for just a moment.
Yes.
So in that video, at the very end, right, we have Mr. Kendrick saying, excuse my language, saying, knock it off your big homie bitch, correct?
Correct.
Do you recall how many times that line was stated prior to Mr. Kendrick uttering that line at the very end?
Multiple.
And it was stated by 24 Heavy, Ricky Hill, correct?
Correct.
And I believe he states it 3 times, right?
Correct.
So Mr. Kendrick is just repeating a line that someone else has written or someone else has said. He's repeating that at the end, correct?
I'm not sure who the writing credits go to, but he did say it at the end.
He's not freestyling it in that it's never been heard before in the song, correct?
Well, it wasn't part of the song. At that point, the song had ended, and he yelled it.
But it had been said 3 times before in the song, right?
Right.
So you're aware there's post-editing that lines can be put into music after the song is recorded, correct?
Right, but the context of how he was saying it, the way he said it, wasn't going along with the song.
Ooh, this is interesting. Tell me about that.
It was after the song had concluded, and he kind of yelled it out with Miss Raven, and I forgot who else was with him.
How do you determine that a song has concluded?
The video, the way it's portrayed in the video, I didn't edit it. The way that it's portrayed in the video has ended, and he utters it at the end after the song is concluded.
So what training have you had in music to know, when a song is ended in a particular video, when there's an utterance after a song is...
Let me help you here, Doug. So the video length and the actual song length is two different things. And the way a video ends is different than when the actual song on the album ends. It's a visual. So, therefore, these are two different situations. And technically, she out of box right now because she tried to speak on it like she over understands how that works, and she really doesn't. So, just because of the song ends, that you don't really know how that works unless you really have the original files, which I said before.
Ended.
Ask me how I know when a song ends?
Yeah, how do you know this in this video? Like, you've had training and expertise that tells you when a particular rap song ends and then something is just blurted out afterwards?
I mean, I've listened to the song independent of the video, and that's not on the track.
But it's in the video, correct?
Right, but when the song concludes, it's not part of the track.
Can we put up, I don't know, which one of y'all are throwing up exhibits? Can you put up 512 VV?
Yes.
Mr. Atkins, thank you so much.
Yo, it was dainty. Tap the like button if he dainty.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I should have told you that.
Holmes had spice.
Thank you.
Yo had spice for lunch. I see. He had extra spice in this salad. What they put in there? Yo had some caliente dressing on the salad. Yeah, he did. Look at him.
Sorry, just give us a minute to
Look at him.
get it up.
Look. He's smitten with himself.
Oh, it's going to take a few minutes for this to get pulled up, okay? I'm going to go back to the closet, and I apologize for jumping.
Oh, he want to go back to the closet. Oh, Kelly, where you at now? Look at shot. Oh, it's cooking.
Sure.
When you're in Mr. Williams, did you call it the jewelry closet?
No, it was a closet where there was a jewelry and other things.
Oh, he
money,
spent back.
Other things were stored.
Okay. When you're in that closet, do you recall in that video that you mentioned how valuable that watch is when you pull?
Side note, Yak looked like one of the 5 heartbeats. I figured it out now. Come on, Weinstein Cook.
It up.
I don't believe so.
I can play that for you so you can hear that.
You can. I don't. Yeah, if you'd like to.
I'll be careful.
Nights like this, I wish.
The video or just the audio?
I just want to do the audio, so I'm going to make sure we can get that done.
Well, that'll not pose a problem.
Nights like.
I want to make sure we can technically do that without having an issue.
On it? Okay.
Come on, y'all, stop playing.
I mean, he could just play it from his laptop if that's an easier way to do it, as long as the jury can hear it.
Okay, can you turn it up?
Yeah, turn it up.
Just put a mic next to your
Put a mic. Yeah, turn it up.
speaker on
We can
your
do it
laptop.
from here. We can do it from here.
Yeah, we can do it right here. Turn up. Hey, Kokomo, I know you got. I see you got the Beats by Dre. Play that. They got Kokomo like we in the 1800s though, for real. To be honest, he like yes sir. He silently be like yes sir.
Ferguson, good slams? Yeah. All right, so just so you know, all the cars, minus the Mustang, contain either thug or gunna's name in there.
I'm not sure that's working. There's a lot of it.
Yeah, that is not what you want.
Just a show. We'll just play it for you so you can see that. I just.
Oh, he gave him the phone. He told him to take the phone. Shot just passed him the phone, y'all.
All the cars, minus the name in there.
Richard Mille watch or Mill.
Like you said,
The first watch.
I made it, like you said, I made it about the first watch that made it to
I made it about the first watch,
Yeah.
which was also a Richard Mille watch or Mill.
I don't
know how to pronounce it. So you did make it about the first Richard Mill, just not the
That is in
second Richard Mill.
evidence.
Okay.
Oh, gosh darn it.
But they're both Richard Mill watches, correct?
I mean, there were several much more expensive pieces of jewelry that were
Oh, now you know value. Ooh, wee.
there also. And this is not my first case with a lot of expensive jewelry.
Oh, now you know. You know.
Here you go. Did you get it pulled up, Mr. Atkins? Oh, great. Thank you. Okay. Let's go back to 512 VV for just a moment.
Okay.
Look at would you read that line below again about running like Ricky?
Yes.
And what is the import of running like Ricky?
It's from a movie,
And what movie is that from?
Boys in the Hood.
And what's happening to Ricky in Boys in the Hood that's running like Ricky has become a meme?
He's getting gunned down in a drive-by shooting.
And what's he doing when he's getting gunned down?
Running.
And he's running down an alley, correct?
Yes.
And he's running at a pretty good clip away from the vehicle that is shooting him with the shot.
Well, the weird part about that is I kind of had used that same metaphor for walking people down on Clubhouse. Yeah, we had a nice bit of fun with it. We had multiple metaphors that some people use that same thing. Ricky, that was one. We had one like, oh man, here come the red Hyundai. Yeah, we had a couple of them that was linked to the very same thing, and it definitely ain't mean I was ready to go slide on nobody in real life. It was kind of digital, just like the movie. Yup. This is facts. Probably a lot of audio to prove it.
Gun, correct?
Correct.
Okay. He's not standing on a sidewalk, right?
I didn't insinuate that.
Sorry?
I didn't insinuate that.
No, I didn't say you did. I'm just
Okay,
asking
yeah,
you a
no.
question.
He's running.
Okay. And he's running directly away from the shotgun that's coming out of a car to shoot him, correct?
Correct.
Okay. This picture here of I guess it's Duke, it's Martinez Arnold, correct?
Yes.
And Diamante Kendrick. This is from June 23rd, 2020, correct?
Correct.
And that is approximately 5 years and 5 months after the killing of Donovan Thomas.
Yes, this picture was more so of importance to me to show the alliance between the Crips and YSL.
Oh, that's right. That's a hybrid gang, right?
Correct.
Okay. And a hybrid gang is kind of like a nose of wax, right? It's something that you can twist and pull so that any type of characteristics that you find can meet the definition of a gang.
Yo, speaking of that, I don't even think he'd have hit Ricky. I don't even think Yoda hit Ricky. I really ain't a shotgun specialist, y'all, but I'm going to keep it real. Holmes looked like he had a nice bit of distance. Straight up. Movie definitely showed a nice bit of distance, y'all. And Holmes was so, nah, bro. I think he would have ate that, y'all. Real rap. At that distance, I think Holmes should have survived. Real rap. I don't know, though. I ain't no professional.
Gang, right?
That's not true.
It isn't true. Why wouldn't that be true?
For example, this hybrid gang with Mr. Arnold, this came about when Mr. Keith Troop died, and Mr. Williams gave the eulogy at Mr. Keith Troop's funeral. And if you listen to Mr. Kitchens, he tells the story about how Mr. Williams was put in charge to take care of Mr. Kitchens and guide him and
into a music career.
He's the one that kind of took them under their wing, and it was okay. And Mr. Williams was the first one to cross color lines when it came to gangs here in Georgia. And they were first uneasy with that, but Keith Troop explained to them, no, it's okay, this is something we do now. So that's an example. And the Department of Justice defines hybrid gangs as a gang member's participation in multiple gangs, vague rules and code of conduct, gangs or different gangs collaborating together to commit crimes. And there's several other definitions, but it's not just something I made up. The Department of Justice defines it too.
No, I know. And what I'm trying to understand from you is I've seen multiple gang experts come in here and talk about definitions of gangs and definitions of hybrid gangs. And it just appears that if a group of individuals don't fit your definition of a gang, that they automatically get classified as a hybrid gang.
Doug,
I'm asking a question.
ask her, what about cop gangs?
About hybrid gang.
Well,
Can you explain what a hybrid gang is?
yes, I gave you part of it. It's traditionally a neighborhood gang or local gang that tries to take on the identifiers of a traditional gang. Like, I'm from New York. The gangs in New York are much more structured.
Bam,
the gangs
wrong
in LA,
answer.
Chicago are much more structured.
That's the wrong answer.
The gangs
Yo, that's the wrong answer. That is not a hybrid gang.
are much more structured here in Georgia. You'll see there are neighborhood cliques that will adopt the identifiers, like YSL, for example, adopted the identifiers of sex, money, murder. They were sex, money, murder based in the beginning, but then Mr. Williams decided to do his own spin on it. Like I said, when he was very close to Keith Troop, when he was deceased, or prior to that, like I said, if you watch, there's history about it where Mr. Kitchens talks about he was sent to go help out Mr. Williams at one point. And at first he was uneasy,
That's
like,
a
oh, do we
rapper
do this?
storyline.
He said,
Slow down also.
Yeah,
It's
just-
sustained
yeah.
to hearsay.
and that's,
I'm trying to understand.
Yo, she going
without
off a
giving
rapper
examples.
backstory.
If you can define hybrid gang.
it is a neighborhood gang that takes on pieces of traditional gangs.
That's not correct. A hybrid gang is when two different gangs join up and combine forces, allegedly. Meaning we're hybrid. There's multiple gangs in our gang. Shorty she failed the test, y'all. Or maybe I'm dumb. Maybe I'm geeking.
And like I said, you'll have individuals from different gangs working together. You will have the mixed use of identifiers, like we've seen through the presentation of evidence here. Like here, this snake and the blue heart for the Crips. Vague rules and code of conduct. Sex, money, murder, bloods have a rank structure. I don't know.
Yo, she is linking it wrong. She actually going multiple angles to try to link it to the national gang when in reality, that's not how it worked. That ain't, no. This is us. We already done formed and got that part. Once we decide to start mingling instead of beefing, that's what makes us hybrid. She dumb.
A rank structure within YSL. So they take pieces of what they like and they put their own spin on it, but are still backed by a traditional gang.
So a traditional gang would have a hierarchy, correct?
Correct.
But you, according to I believe the testimony we've heard, YSL as a gang doesn't have a hierarchy.
They don't have, but the Goodfellas, for example, they have.
I'm asking, let's go back to my question.
Right.
YSL.
Right.
Judge, I would ask for counsel to answer this.
Objection. Overruled.
The witness didn't explain her.
Well, the answer wasn't responsive to my question.
Overruled.
Thank
Go
you.
ahead and ask your question.
Okay.
Okay. YSL does not have a hierarchy as a traditional gang does, correct?
They don't have a set of leadership like roles, no.
Okay. So in that sense, they would.
No structure. I already know. If you've been around, you know what time it is.
Wouldn't fit into the definition of a traditional gang.
But they're still welcomed by members of the Sex, Money, Murder, Bloods.
Cap.
Can you just answer my question?
Yes.
Okay. So my question was, they don't fit into the definition of a traditional gang.
Correct.
So instead, they get slotted over to this catch-all category of hybrid gang, correct?
I wouldn't call it a catch-all, no.
What category are police gangs in?
Okay. I don't have any further questions. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Weinstein.
Oh, my.
All right.
I ain't even.
A minute, let me just ask y'all a scheduling issue.
Scheduling it. Oh, here we go with the cat. Here we go with the cat.
Other things that you did with the DA's office.
Oh,
Start.
Let me just ask y'all a scheduling issue.
Here we go, y'all. Leave a comment. What you think Shot Ray do? Come on, let's see if he gonna get busy.
Good afternoon.
Yeah, what's up?
Okay. Let me just start off with something that you said on direct. When did you start working on this case with the DA's office?
I'm trying to think. I got to probably fall of 21, maybe.
Fall of 2021. And in fall of 2021, when you started working with this case with the DA's office, you were in the section or in the working group with under ADA Love, correct?
No.
Okay, who were you under?
Kara Convery was the deputy district attorney at that time.
Okay. All right, and with the DA's office, eventually, you're not with the DA's office now?
Correct.
Okay, but with the DA's office, you worked on this case, correct?
Correct.
Okay, and you worked under Kara Convery. Who else did you work under?
Well, she wasn't on the case, but for the case, I worked under Don Geary.
Don Geary, okay. All right. Now, in your testimony over the last few days, you've spoken about the work that you did on this case with the district attorney's office.
Correct.
And you've given us your opinions about certain things that you learned through your work at the district attorney's office, correct?
Some. I don't know. I don't think I've given many opinions.
Okay. As part of your work with the district attorney's office, you reviewed surveillance videos.
Correct.
Okay. You drafted affidavits for search warrants.
Correct.
You collected evidence from Jeffery Williams' house.
Correct.
You collected social media posts.
Correct.
From various people.
Correct.
You reviewed Mr. Stillwell's phones.
Correct.
You've reviewed music, in this case, by various artists.
Correct.
Okay.
You off the Addy.
In fact, today, I guess you reviewed a video to make a determination of what type of gun is in a picture, correct?
Correct.
Okay. All those things that you did, and there were other things that you did with the DA's office, correct?
Correct.
All right. And you testified that you were asked by Ms. Hilton, how did you notate your work on this case? And then you said that you talked about your search warrant affidavits, that you make them thorough.
Correct.
Okay, but search warrant affidavits aren't memorandums, are they?
No.
Okay, they're not police reports, are they?
No.
Okay. And your explanation, you don't have reports written for the work that you did in this case as a district attorney, with the district attorney's office, do you?
I have, I think, one or two
Whoa.
that were witness memorandums.
What?
But other than that, no.
Reports about when you were collecting social media posts.
No.
Got any reports on that?
No.
Okay, about whose addresses you were looking at and whose you weren't? Do you have any reports on that?
What do you mean by addresses?
Instagram addresses or Instagram, which people that you were following on Instagram, which people you were looking at their Instagram, what dates you were looking at their Instagram. Do you have reports about that?
No, but they were compiled and each date that they were looked at were noted on the photo.
Okay, so we're just supposed to look at the stuff that you compile and bring to court, and that's good enough to let us fill in all the work that you did.
Objection, argument.
Just take your word for it?
It's cross, I'm going to permit it.
I mean, I'm here to explain it.
Okay, well, that's fine, but,
Right.
you know, what if we want reports? Do you have reports?
I said, the DA, now I work at a different facility. When I worked at the GBI, we had a reporting system. The DA's office doesn't have that. So I would, in my affidavits, make them as lengthy. When you see an affidavit of mine, it's pretty lengthy for a reason.
Okay, well, I didn't ask about your search warrant affidavits. I'm asking about reports and memorandums right now. Okay, and you seem to be saying, well, there was no record-keeping software with the district attorney's office that you could memorialize the work you did.
Correct.
Okay, they don't have a typewriter, they don't have computers, they don't have Microsoft Word, they don't have a pad of paper, they don't have pens, they don't have pencils. Is that what you're saying?
They do.
Okay. But you just didn't write any reports about any of this work that you've been testifying over the last 3 days that you did.
I don't really know anybody that would write a report saying, on this date, I screenshotted this picture. On this date, I screenshotted this picture. That's not really a report. That's not an event I would write a report for.
Well, what if I want to know exactly?
Oh, what electronic device did you use? Can we search that? Let's get a dump on it.
What Instagram addresses, what individuals that you looked at on Instagram and which ones you didn't, which ones you checked out what they were posting and which ones you didn't. How would I know if you don't read a report?
Well, if I looked at them, the name would be on the post, and if I didn't, there wouldn't be a picture.
Okay, so again, we're just going with what you say happened years later based on the evidence that you bring into court.
I compiled my findings into a folder and provided it as part of the case file.
Okay. And you didn't write any reports about the work that you were doing in real time, did you?
Regarding, there's a report for Waters Road, and the rest of the investigation, like the investigation into the stabbing of Mr. Bennett, can be found in pretty lengthy affidavits.
So you wrote a report for Waters Road?
I did.
Were you at the DA's office at that time?
I wrote it on a piece of paper. It was a Word document.
So you were able to make a Word document about that work, just not the other work that you did, like when you were reviewing my client's phone, like when you were collecting things off of social media, like when you were reviewing surveillance videos. You couldn't write reports for those matters.
Today, with a report management system, I wouldn't write a report for screenshotting social media or reviewing a phone. I traditionally put together a PowerPoint or a visual presentation for trial.
Okay, I didn't ask what you traditionally do. I asked what you did do and didn't do.
But that's what I would do that's what I did back at the DA's office, is what I'm telling you. I would do that today with a report management system, as I did without one. Those things are not responding to Waters Road. I wanted to make sure it's better suited to put it in an affidavit because it's memorialized in the clerk's office. Systems can get hacked, hard drives can get lost, things can get deleted, files can get lost. So I prefer to anything that's noteworthy, make sure it's memorialized somewhere.
Things can get lost. That's your explanation? You can't lose something if you don't make it, can you?
Which is why anything regarding my investigation is probably in an affidavit that you have. I've wrote hundreds of pages.
Probably in an affidavit?
If you would give me a case that you're specifically referring to, I can give you an example.
In your affidavits, I would like you to show me an affidavit for a search warrant where you list all the Instagram addresses and people that you checked out in March 2022 when you were pulling their posts. I want to know everyone that you searched.
That was served to you in a discovery folder.
Okay. I have the posts.
Correct. So that's all of them.
All right. I'm not asking for the posts. I'm asking for a list of the people that you searched for.
If you look in the folder, you will see the list of people I searched for.
Okay. All right. Okay. All right. Mr. Stillwell, you have known him since 2012, is that correct?
Approximately, yes.
He was about 17 at the time?
If that's what the math dictates, then yes.
How? She was her probation officer. What was he? Hold on. See, Stillwell and Woody got caught for the jean robbery, breaking in stores, which is a pretty serious crime. And they was in a bando when they got caught. And they got caught with the merchandise. Now, they was old enough to be adults. So this is kind of weird right here. Because this say 2010. And their names made the paper. So if 2012 they were 17, then that mean what? They got charged as adults when they was 15 and their name made the paper? That's crazy.
Okay. You know him to be from the Thomasville area of Atlanta, correct?
When I would encounter him, he would not be. He would be more in the Mechanicsville area.
Okay, fair enough. You know him, and you know personal information about him, correct?
Such as?
You know that he was raised by his grandmother, Betty Jackson.
Yes.
Okay, and you know Betty Jackson is the mother of his biological father.
Correct.
That's where the Jackson comes from.
Correct.
And the Stillwell comes from his mother.
Correct.
And you know that his mother has never been a part of his life.
Correct.
You know that she was a very bad drug addict.
Objection irrelevant, Your Honor.
It's going to explain communications on the phone.
All right, overruled.
And you know that she's now deceased.
I know that she is deceased. I don't know the circumstances.
Okay. Okay, you know that and Betty Jackson raised Mr. Stillwell, and you've met Betty Jackson before?
I have.
Okay. And you identified her voice on the jail phones.
Yes.
And also in your review of his phone, the extraction of his phone,
Yes.
you saw her number under the name Boss Lady.
Correct.
Okay. You know Mr. Jackson has a 9th grade education, correct?
I do not know that.
Okay. Do you know him to be a high school graduate?
I don't know that.
Okay. As far as his occupation, as far as you've known him, you know, let's be real for a second. You've reviewed his phones.
Correct.
Okay. You saw mentions of drugs, weed, pills in his phones.
For sale, yes.
Okay, for sale, right. Okay. There was indications in his phone that in 2022 he was selling drugs.
Correct.
Okay. And also,
So Shark going for that route, he's guilty of this. With all this other stuff, y'all reaching.
in his phone, you saw substantial evidence of his aspirations to become a musician, correct?
Yes.
Okay. You've seen social media posts with him and Wooney Lee at the studio.
Yes.
You've seen social media posts where he hashtagged his upcoming projects.
Yes.
You've seen, you saw on YouTube that short video Slap Talk, correct?
That was on his Instagram profile, but yes.
Okay. Did you note at the time that you captured that Instagram post with the song how many views it had?
I did not.
Would you dispute that it was 17,000?
I don't know, so I have no way to.
All right. And you also observed in his phone his communications with other individuals that were rapping, correct?
I mean,
You saw communications with Wooney Lee.
with Wooney Lee, yes.
Okay. And you saw different references and conversations about renting studio time
Correct.
in his phone. Even, we're talking about in March 2022, on March 8th, for instance, there was a discussion about him going to the studio.
Sure.
March 9th, going into the 10th, discussion with Wooney Lee about going to the studio. The Yo is what they call it, correct?
Correct.
Evening of March 10th, discussion of going to the studio run by Mook Tovin.
Correct.
And you know Mook Tovin to be someone who runs a studio, correct?
Producer of some sort, yes.
And you saw the evidence of, you see file transfers on those dates from Mook Tovin and other people transferring audio files.
Correct.
Okay. And that's consistent with someone making music in the studio and then their work being transferred to them at the end of the night by the studio engineer.
Sure, yes.
All right. Evening of March 11th, discussions with Wooney Lee about going to the studio.
Yes.
March 12th, booking a session at the studio.
Yes.
The evening of March 14th, your investigation, and I know that, and we're going to talk about 10 o'clock and Windsor Street, but later on in the evening, talking about midnight, your investigation revealed that Mr. Still was in the studio.
Yes.
In fact, when people were looking for him, he informed his grandmother that he was in the studio.
I don't know if I remember that, but I know he did, after the murder of Schmel Drink, they were at the studio. Yes.
Okay. So, and you've observed some of Shannon's music.
I have.
You've observed a lot of music in your profession.
I have.
You observe a lot of music. Let's just
I
put
have.
it that way. You're familiar with drill music, correct?
Yes.
All right. Drill music is something that extends beyond Atlanta.
It does.
It's worldwide, correct?
I know throughout the U.S. I'm not too familiar with it internationally, but yes.
Okay.
What?
Common themes of drill music, brutality and violence.
Correct.
Is that fair to say?
Correct.
Okay. Who's the baddest? Who's the toughest? Who's the most powerful?
Correct.
A lot of bragging.
Correct.
Okay. Claims about women, about who gets the most women. Is that a recurring theme?
Yes.
Bragging about the guns people own and carry.
Yes.
Okay. Bragging about how much money people have.
Yes.
Bragging about homicides, whether it's true or not.
Some.
Okay. It's a type of music, and whether you like it or not, and I'm not suggesting you like it, and I'm not suggesting I like it, but it glorifies violence.
I don't know if I would use the term glorifies because there are a number of drill rappers that have been charged with homicide
Okay.
or engage in violent acts. So I don't know if it glorifies. There's two sides. It can glorify it and it can also tell the story. So there's two different sides to it.
Okay, so one side, you know people that are in drill music that have been charged with crimes.
What I'm saying is music of that you're describing often feeds into violence.
Okay, and you don't like that, do you?
I don't
You feel
like
that-
anybody getting hurt.
Okay, and that's fine.
Got him.
Yeah.
You feel it feeds into violence, okay?
Yo, he hit her with the trick that I hit Cheedy with. Yo, pushed her in the corner and then asked her, and you don't like that. That's the same trick I hit Cheedy with. But look, I hit him with the third reference, the third person type of joint. Look, I took him out of context. Look what I did, right? I said, yo, them people that live in in Atlanta, the people that got a couple dollars, right? Like, when they be saying these rappers and these videos with all these straps and all that, I mean, like the regular people in Atlanta, they don't really like that, do they? Yo.
And what I'm asking though is when you said it glorifies, you said, I know some people who are in drill music that have been charged with crimes.
Correct.
Okay, and you also know a lot of drill music where people claim they did this and claim they did that.
Correct.
All right. And it's not always factual.
No, but being a drill artist doesn't negate the fact that you.
No. Majority of it isn't factual. Don't say always. No, we talking golly, like goddamn, man, I give you 15 tops, 15% tops. Straight like that, bro. Straight up, bro. I'm an engineer, man. I done recorded mega hours, man. Nah, man.
Engage in violence.
Yo, first off, you gotta put juice on it and go over the top. First off. It ain't even, like, if you just tell it regular, it ain't even that slick. Everybody be saying this and saying that. So you got to put juice on it. If you pour, you got to go extra and lie. You got to say, man, grandma was selling her yams out the house. I was watching it the whole time while Unc was serving some smack. You feel me? And I was right there as a baby with the pacifier helping him. Like, you got to juice it. So stop playing. Nah, we talking 15%, cuz.
Okay. You may.
It could go either way, but being
Right.
a drill artist doesn't negate that fact.
That's fine. Okay. Common terms in drill music, ops,
Correct.
stands for opposition.
Correct.
And that is a recurring theme that you almost hear in every song. Isn't that fair to say?
In every song and almost every investigation that I work, yes.
Okay.
And every game of Call of Duty. or GTA Online?
And if we, and we're not going to do it, but if we Google and get on YouTube and type in rap ops, we'll see dozens of songs with ops in the title,
Correct?
including by well-known artists.
Correct.
All right. Glizzies. Glizzy is a term that comes up a lot in drill music,
That's
correct?
a hot dog.
Correct.
It's a gun.
Yes, but I don't know if I've heard that used that much by these folks that we investigated with this.
I'm
Yeah,
just talking about.
it does. Guns do come up, yes.
Yeah, I mean, it's in one of Shannon's songs.
Okay.
Lizard Walk.
Okay.
Okay. And that's another term that comes up a lot in drill music.
Glizzy, Blick, Phi, whatever you want to call it.
Red light. It's another one that comes up a lot in drill music, correct? Red lights?
I don't hear that as often, no.
Okay. You ever hear of the song Red Light by Future?
I have not.
You heard the lyrics? Yeah,
You don't know
and
Future songs? Oh, she a
this
hater.
shit real out here running through the red light,
She a hater.
looking through your rear view.
Yo, leave a comment, yo. I ain't even gonna lie. I think almost all girls like Future. Like, no cap. And I don't mean like him. But like, I just think, yo, was like Future's music was like a thing that girls could play. And it was like neutral, like, cause of like, and it ain't, nah, bro, something ain't right with her. Something ain't right with her not knowing Future music. I think, for real, y'all, like, it's safe to say, I think I could easily ask a girl something, a question about Future, and I've been answered every time. Like, yo, who that's Future? Yeah, you feel me? Like, she ain't right.
And might just sneak up on the car and try to spray you. You hear that? Heard that lyric?
No, but if Mr. Wilburn would have engaged in a homicide at a red light, I probably would have looked into it.
Okay. I didn't ask anything about a homicide or Mr. Wilburn. I asked if you heard the lyric.
But yes,
Okay.
but it's something I would look at.
Okay. Chalk. Chalk you out. Chalk them up. Slime and chalk. Those are
Slime and chalk, I'm familiar with, yes.
all right. Those are things that you would hear in drill music, correct?
Slime and chalk, I've heard. The others, I don't know if I've heard.
All right. We heard 5 songs by Mr. Stillwell. Okay.
Yes.
And they were, let's see, Slat Talk, Ran This Money, Bullshit, Lizard Walk, and Red Light.
Yes.
And all those songs, you have identified Mr. Stillwell, and they were in Mr. Stillwell's phone.
Correct.
Okay, and just to be clear, there were other songs in Mr. Stillwell's phone as well.
Correct.
Okay, so we heard 5 of all the songs that Mr. Stillwell had in his phone.
Correct.
And do you know, outside of his phone, how many other songs Mr. Stillwell has made?
I know through the years I've seen him make a few, but I couldn't give you a number.
Okay. Now, with those songs, do you know when they were written?
No, and on direct, I said I can only see the date that they were added to the device.
Right, and you don't, and let's just be clear, the date that they were added to the device was 3/17. There was some sort of file transfer according to the report.
Correct.
On 3/17. You don't believe that on the morning of 3/17 he was in the studio making all those songs?
Not to say that 1 or 2 of them couldn't have been made in the days prior, but I can't give you exact dates on them.
Okay. So we don't know when they were made. Do we know when they were written?
No,
Do we know who wrote the lyrics?
we don't.
Okay, and in fact, on one of the songs, Red Light, it says featuring Vito, correct?
Correct.
Veedo.
Correct.
You know Vito to be a songwriter, not an artist, a songwriter for 300 Entertainment, correct?
Could be, yes.
Okay.
Boots.
Okay. Some of these songs that we heard have the typical ops, red light, glizzy, homicide, typical things that are hallmarks of drill music, correct?
Correct.
Okay. Now, also, in one of the songs, Mr. Stillwell makes reference to his bankroll, right?
Correct.
Okay. Bankroll is the amount of money you have,
Correct.
the wad of cash.
Correct.
All right. And he's bragging about his bankroll.
Correct.
Okay. And that's what he's saying. That's what he's releasing to the public through this song.
Correct.
Okay. Mr. Stillwell, do you know him to own a car?
No.
Do you know him to own a house?
No.
Do you know him to be independently wealthy?
I mean, sometimes, yes. He has a lot of money on him.
Okay.
What? A lot of money on him.
His bankroll. Is that something that artists often talk about? Their bankroll and how big it is?
Sometimes, yes.
Is that always true, that the artists that are bragging about their bankroll is really as big as they're claiming it is in their songs?
That's an individual basis.
Okay. Could it be, you ever heard the term, like my son says it all the time, cap? Like, just made up. Cap.
It could be, but that's not necessarily the case with Mr. Stillwell Jackson.
I'm asking if you've ever heard the
Yes,
term.
I have.
Okay, and artists cap on songs all the time, don't they?
Some do. Some
Okay.
don't.
And Mr. Stillwell, in his songs, was claiming that he had a bankroll.
And he did sometimes. Yes, he did sometimes.
Well, on the phones, you reviewed his phones.
Correct.
You saw him basically begging Miss Alexander to give him $1,500.
But if you listen to the March 16th wiretap call, he talks about all the money he had.
Okay.
And he didn't want to go to jail with all that money. So he had a lot of, it fluctuates from day to day.
Bro.
So I don't know. Some days he has a bankroll, some days he has no roll.
That
So
means you don't have money if you got money on you that you can actually carry. That is not wealth. That is not wealth, y'all. Yo, if you can, you see how little these boys' pants is. You got it on you. That ain't no money. That ain't no money, y'all, till you really need to use a different device. And we talking about, airport type luggage. That's when you saying some bread. Real rap, bro. Like, what? Money. Yo, you can't even go throw a lot of money at the strip club with money in your pockets. Straight up. You ain't gonna be able to last long. You came in here with just the bread in your pocket? What they all Huns? Bank fresh? What you brick? You got some bricks in your pocket? Like, you feel me? Real rap, bro. It's on you. What you got on a trench coat? With a you feel me? What you got on the starter jacket with the big pouch in the front? What we doing?
Did he have a bankroll? Do you know if he had a bankroll the day?
Holmes, Ted DiBiase, he got the goddamn briefcase. My bad, y'all. I'm sleeping, y'all. He got the briefcase. My bad, y'all. I'm disrespecting him. He got the damn Ted DiBiase with him.
He recorded that song.
do not.
Okay. Could that have been Cap?
Could have been. He could have been reminiscing about when he had his bankroll.
Okay. In these songs, while we're talking about Cap, let's see. Mr. Stillwell referred to himself as Big Slime. You ever hear anyone else refer to Mr. Stillwell as Big Slime?
I'm trying to think. He's been referred to as Big Slime and Life-Size Lizard.
Right, that's what he calls himself.
He's also referred to as that. I've heard him.
Okay. So he was claiming to be Big Slime in the
Correct.
song that he wrote or performed. Okay. Then we got, let's see, Dolly White in one of the songs.
Hey, yo, I'm going to say this. Wealth don't involve no paper money. Wealthy people ain't got no paper money. They ain't tripping about no paper money, man.
Bullshit, right?
Dolly, yes.
She brags about making $201K in a day.
Okay.
Okay. Do you know? Is there any evidence that you have that on that day that Dolly White was claiming that she made $201K that day, that she actually made $201,000 that day?
A, I wouldn't know what day it is to be able to tell you. She could have been on Instagram or somewhere bragging about having 200K. So without knowing the day, I couldn't.
I haven't. Making.
Okay.
201,000.
Any evidence that Dolly White, I'm not talking about Jeffery Williams, I'm talking about
On
Dolly
any day
White,
in her
has
life.
ever made $201,000 in a day in her life?
I couldn't tell you what Miss Greer makes.
Could that have been cap?
It could, but it also could not have been.
So,
Bro, why they make this so easy, bro? I swear. I crushed this part of the exam.
we talked about the lyrics on Direct. In these songs, Mr. Stillwell never mentioned an infinity.
No.
Never mentioned Diamante Kendrick.
No.
Never mentioned.
All right, let me explain how a definition of him having a bankroll on him and being scared to lose it is actually a conflict of interest and actually debunks her theory. All right, so boom. The streets rule is this. You ain't got no bread unless you got lawyer money put up, bail money, and you really situated. Meaning you really pay for rent. You got a car that's yours. You understand what I'm saying? You ain't even got no money to all that square and you still got play like big money in the street. Yeah, we still got big money. Yeah. What? Do you know what's going on out in the street? Now, look, this is a side story. She really do. She really seen people that, yeah, what? Man, you could read through goddamn indictments and see who really eating out here, boy. It's people out there that's really eating, bro. We talking about when you pull them over, they having things. Yeah, we talking about people who got a whole bunch of bread getting took from them, confiscated, large amounts. And you hearing wiretaps with dudes talking about, I'm about to bring 70K. I'm about to drop 140 over there. Yeah, stop, bro. Stop. She playing. She bluffing. She bluffing. Acting like that boy got money, man. That's play money in a studio environment, man. You talking about college kids that pop up in a studio environment with 40K on them. Real rap. Dudes who ain't even in the streets walking around. Because, come on, bro. Nah, bro. She capping. She capping, making it like that boy got money, yo. I'm telling you. That ain't no money. Anytime you can say, I can blow it, I'm scared to blow it. I ain't want to get a hotel. That is not nobody with no money. First off, dudes with money spend and buy the top shelf hotels for nothing. Regular nights. Yes, sir. Dudes stand down 5 seasons, 4 seasons and all. What? On regular nights for videos. Not even sleeping in there. What are we doing? Ain't no, I don't want to spend my bread because I ain't want to get a room. I ain't want to mess the bread up. Man, that boy had like 3,500 then. Straight up.
Mentioned Demise McMullen or Nard.
No.
Never mentioned Justin Cobb or Doo-Wop.
No.
He mentioned being arrested for a homicide and beating it.
I don't want to, I'm going to tread lightly on it. I don't know. Can I get some direction on how
He said I beat.
Okay, but I just want to make sure I'm approaching it correctly. I don't want to.
Yeah, I'll ask a very targeted question.
Okay.
He mentioned on Slat Talk, I beat a murder rap.
Yes, he did.
Paid my lawyer $30 for that.
He did mention that.
Okay. He also mentioned beating a homicide on another song, correct?
Correct.
Okay. Do you have, the fact is that Mr. Stillwell, he's on trial for that here today. At the time he wrote those lyrics, he had never beaten a homicide.
That's a real slippery slope to explain that. I don't
No,
want
it's
to say
not.
some-
Yes
I
or
get
no?
some-
He had never been cleared or went to trial and was found not guilty of a homicide.
Yes. It's,
Yes.
She playing a 50, y'all. Come on, we in the game. We ain't gotta wait. Hold on. Hold on, y'all. Hold on. I got us. Hold on.
So, Mr. Shart asked you a very specific question, and you seem to have answered in a way that surprises everybody. So, we need to get some clarity from you. Okay, so can you listen really carefully to what his question is and answer that question? And then if your answer is still the same, we need to ask some follow-up of you. Okay, go ahead.
In the songs that we reviewed, Mr. Stillwell claimed to have beat a homicide, correct? Or
Correct.
beat a murder rap, beat a homicide.
correct.
Okay. Did he, in fact, beat a murder rap or beat a homicide, as he claimed?
I think he,
Go ahead and explain it now, because the jury's not in here.
Yes,
We're just
here.
trying to sort out what
I
it
think
is.
from my understanding of Mr. Stillwell back in that time, he was under the impression that the Donovan Thomas case had been, that they were going to beat it, like they were about to beat it, or it was beat, or it wasn't going to be an issue. I didn't want to say that because I didn't
Well,
know.
that's good that you didn't say
Yes.
that, but that's not the question that he asked
I'm
at
not
the
asking
time.
what Mr. Stillwell thought. I'm
Okay,
asking-
yeah, then no.
And listen
Okay.
very carefully to what he actually, that's not what he asked a minute ago, but you don't have like knowledge that nobody else has that he was tried for some other
no, no, no.
murder and got a hung jury
So
or an
state it like it
No,
is.
Your Honor. I just wanted to
Okay,
make sure.
so if Mr. Short asks you, has he ever beaten one, and by beaten, I mean, gotten an acquittal or however he phrases it, what would your answer be then?
No, I just didn't know the specific outcome of if it was.
Has he
Dismissed
even
and
been
re-
tried for
No.
another murder?
He has
Okay,
not
so
been
don't
tried.
say, I don't know the specific outcome if he has never been tried
Yeah,
for one
stop
other than
playing.
the one he's on trial for right now, okay?
Yeah,
You understand?
I just thought, I didn't know if he meant it was.
Yes,
trial.
yes or no? Do you understand?
That's not what was asked.
But that's not what he just asked right here, Your Honor. And
I know that, I know that.
I think that's the clarity that needs to be had, because at the time, Mr. Stillwell was on bond for the murder. And so,
That is not anywhere near what he asked. He asked, has he ever been tried for and acquitted of murder? Being given a bond before a trial ever occurs does not a yes answer for, has he ever been tried and acquitted?
right, but even the question he just asked right now was not that direct.
I know, that's because, I know, but just now what he asked, we're just trying to figure out what it is she might mean. Are you gonna ask?
I'll ask about the bond.
Okay. So if he asked about bond, then you can answer whatever you know about whether he was released on bond.
I can be
Okay?
respectful of his rights, Your Honor. That's all.
Okay. Is anybody need any more clarity on?
Yeah.
I definitely do, because I think on redirect,
Okay.
I think it becomes very relevant to ask the witness, at the time he wrote those songs, is it, based on everything that you know and speaking to him and other people, that did he believe he beat the murder?
I would not let you ask that, because how on earth can she know what is in his head?
Facts.
I mean, you could ask it, but I would overrule it if objection were made.
Sit down, pony boy.
I understand, Your Honor.
Then you point that, if that is in evidence, then you point that out in closing argument.
I think we will put them in now. Okay.
Well, y'all have to make a decision, each of you, as to how you're going to present your case, or. All right. Do we have clarity now?
I think I'm clear. Yes, I'm clear.
Yeah. Thanks, Your Honor.
You're going to ask the first a direct question about whether or not he's been tried and convicted. You're going to ask that direct question first, and then you're going to ask about the bond. Okay.
And then, I mean, Mr. Abadi, you suggested that you might then introduce evidence that he said what were you saying?
Well, I think I have to find the call, but I think that creates the questions on redirect that then can be asked is at the time that
Turn your mic on, Pickle Boy.
Been on bond for a number of years. I mean, he makes all of that very relevant as it relates to like diving into why he said that in the lyrics of the song. I think the whole point of this is a very slippery slope because we begin to talk about things that I don't necessarily
Hey, Pipe Wrench,
all want to get
sit
into
down.
as it relates to objections and objections for mistrial, because all of these questions allow us to then ask on redirect the specifics as it relates to when he made the song and being released on bond, things of that
Boo.
nature, as to the belief as to why he believed he beat the murder, because it had been 3, 4, however many years.
Boo.
He had not
Well,
been
you can
indicted.
ask that had he been on bond 3, 4, however many years. What you cannot ask this witness is, so then do you think he believed he beat it? I mean, that is something that this witness can't testify to, that I know of. If you have some reason to believe you think she can testify to that. But I mean, if it's just, oh, I can put 2 and 2 together, he'd been out for 17 years on bond and not been, tried yet, then that's something that is not beyond the ken of any juror, and you can argue that in your closing, but you can't ask this witness that question, okay?
Yes.
Everybody clear now?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. All right, we'll get the jury back.
Uh-oh.
How long is there going to be like a natural stopping point? I mean, I don't mind keeping them till 6.
Okay.
There'll be a natural stopping point,
Okay.
and I'll be.
If we do that, we have 5 minutes
Right now?
recess. Just
Hold up, y'all. Let's get the jury back. Hold on. Hold on, I'm skipping. I don't know what they in there doing, y'all. Oh, man. They still ain't. All right. All right, we live, y'all. Nights like this, I wish that raindrops would fall. Look, he's stressing. He's stressing. Hold up, y'all. I'm getting this right. We getting the jury back. We getting the jury back. Ho. Still well looking. Stop doing that, bro. You looking like a mob boss, bro. Relax. Yeah, tap the like button. We in here rocking and pop locking. Yeah, Yak try to get on. I ain't come out today. Yak try to get me. He got me today. He got that. He got that. He went full Muslim on. He got that, though.
VIVERITO, I'm going to go back to where.
You know me and him got the same birthday. It's coming.
Okay, Investigative VIVERITO, I'm going to go back to where we were before. In those songs, in Slat Talk,
Correct?
Mr. Stilwell says, I just beat a murder rap, paid my lawyer $30 for that.
Correct?
Okay, and in other songs he says, I beat a homicide.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. My first question. To your knowledge, in this case, I'm talking about Donovan Thomas.
Correct?
Had Mr. Stillwell ever been acquitted or the case been dismissed?
No.
Okay. The case was still open, correct?
Yes.
Okay. So he had not, in fact, beat a homicide.
Correct.
He had not, in fact, beat a murder rap.
Correct.
Yet he claimed that on his songs.
Correct.
Also, he claimed to pay his lawyer $30 for that. Do you know if he actually paid a lawyer anything?
I don't believe he's the one that paid the lawyer, but a lawyer was paid.
Do you know a lawyer's been paid?
At some
What
point.
lawyer?
He was represented at some point.
What lawyer?
I don't know which lawyer he was. I said at
Well,
some
you just
point.
said you know the lawyer's been paid, and now I'm asking you what lawyer?
Okay. A lawyer back then would have been paid for him. I don't know.
What's the lawyer's name? Since you had an opinion on it, that lawyer had been paid, what is that lawyer's name?
Oh,
All I said was, Mr. Shart, if he had a lawyer, they would have had to have been paid somehow. I don't know how or who.
Okay, so you don't know how much anyone.
I did
had
not
been
work on
paid.
the Donovan Thomas case at all.
Okay, but you just gave an opinion on it, and so you don't know how much, who, or how much anyone had been.
oh, he barking on
I
him.
just said I don't know who his lawyer was or how much or how they were paid.
You know,
The reality is, Mr. Stillwell was released on bond.
Yes.
He didn't beat a murder rap. He had been released on bond.
Yes.
Okay, so claim I beat a murder rap, that was cap.
Cap.
If you want to call it cap. I would say incorrect, but sure.
What? That's opinion.
Claim that he paid a lawyer $30 for that, we don't know. We don't even know who the lawyer is.
We don't know.
Correct?
Okay? He also said in Lizard Walk, bond was $500,000 N-word. Remember that?
Yes.
Okay. Do you know Mr. Stillwell's bond in the case that he paid for Donovan Thomas? Do you know it to have been $500,000?
Believe it was almost not $500,000, but it was a very high amount.
No.
Okay. Was it $500,000?
I think if I remember correctly, it was 300,000.
Was it $500,000?
It was not.
Okay, so that was incorrect. That was cap as well, correct?
Sure.
Okay. Mr. Stillwell, since October 2015, has been charged with the Donovan Thomas murder, correct?
I'm not sure the exact date he was charged, but
Late 2015?
sure.
Okay. And in these songs, he openly talks about being charged for that murder, correct?
Yes.
Okay. And he talks about the money he paid lawyers.
Sure.
He talks about the money, the extravagant amounts of money that he paid for bond, $500,000.
Sure.
Okay. I'm not saying you like it. I'm not saying I'm like it. Do you deny that potentially an artist, an aspiring artist, being charged in a high-profile case, beating a high-profile case, paying large amounts of bond, would be something that would be appealing in the world of drill music? Do you deny that?
No, engaging in violence and homicide skyrockets you to the top of the corporate ladder in drill music.
Okay. And he was saying he had been charged and
Correct.
beaten.
Correct?
Okay. Mr. Atkins, could you, or Mr. Abate, or Miss Hilton, could you do me a favor? Or Miss Knightsback, 436 VVA, please, if you could display that for me. Okay, this is my client, correct?
Correct.
And again, this is him while he's trying to be an aspiring artist, correct? This time period?
I guess.
Okay. And first of all, let me just clarify one thing. In the background, we see a gas station. That is the gas station on Cleveland Avenue, correct?
I believe that's 221 Cleveland.
Okay. That's not McDaniel Street.
No.
Okay. Now, Mr. Stillwell, in this post, also makes reference to Donovan Thomas, doesn't he?
He does.
Okay. He makes reference in the hashtag Peanut Stone Grave.
Correct.
Okay. Publicly, he is tethering himself to that incident.
Correct.
Okay. And in the message he writes, in the caption, it says, I fell off 100 times, 100 times I bounced back. Okay.
Correct.
Let's talk about some things that happened prior to this post about falling down 100 times. Mr. Stillwell, prior to this post, had someone drive by the green store and shoot at his head, did he not?
Correct.
Okay. Mr. Stillwell, prior to this post, was driving in a car with a young lady named Tiara Jones and another lady named Ms. Duncan, and a car sped up behind that car and started shooting at them, correct?
Correct.
And killed Tiara Jones and put Mr. Stillwell in the hospital.
Correct.
Mr. Stillwell, after he spoke to the investigators about the Tiara Jones case, was
What do you say, Shot?
attacked on social media for talking to the police.
Correct.
All those things happened before he made this post about falling off 100 times and bouncing back.
A lot of things happen, yes.
Okay.
Dope.
Does this post ever say, I killed Donovan Thomas?
No, but he's attaching himself to the incident.
You're absolutely right. He's attaching himself to the fact that the police arrested him and people have been attacking him ever since. Isn't that true? I've been knocked down, I fell off 100 times, and 100 times I bounced back.
Objection, speculation.
Sustained.
Okay, I'd like to talk to you about some of the work you did in collecting the posts from social media. And again, I don't mean to harp on this. Maybe I'm not asking correctly. I understand that you have given how many total social media posts did you pull within a folder?
I don't know. They were all compiled into a folder of relevant posts.
Okay, you say relevant posts.
Correct.
So who determined if they were relevant?
If they had anything to do with the hyper-violent back and forth, I felt that they were relevant to the investigation.
Okay, again, I'm going to ask, who determined if they were relevant? Who?
It's just if I felt like they were
So
anything
you
I
determined.
would, from as being the person that's listening and monitoring the wiretap and knowing the ins and outs of what's going on, I was able to determine what was relevant.
You determined what was relevant.
Correct.
Okay. And I understand that we have a thing of posts. What I want to know, when you're on Instagram, do you have notifications set for when people post? Are you
Facts.
scrolling Instagram? Are you looking at certain people's pages and not other people's pages? How are you doing it?
We were monitoring both sides of the conflict, and it's not just me. There are several people
Nah,
that
explain.
would monitor. We'd all look together
I'm talking
collectively.
about the social media posts.
Correct. We were monitoring both sides. Part of my job is to mitigate violence. So as a conflict is occurring, we're monitoring both sides of the conflict.
You ain't
So
stopped
when we
nothing.
see, it's a constant job of monitoring, to where if I see YFN down on Cleveland Avenue, which a bunch of assault rifles, probably not great. So we need to monitor constantly to say, okay, we need to get marked units down to Cleveland to mitigate that. So we're constantly, I have a unit that I work with. Everybody was involved in the wiretap, the investigation.
the
So everybody
documentation?
was tuned into what was going on.
Who's in that unit?
I mean, the gang unit, there's a bunch of people. I couldn't tell you give you a roster at that time. It's changed, but
Okay, well, if we had reports, could we know who was on that unit? Since
they
it's
wouldn't.
changed.
I don't know anybody in our gang unit that would give you a report of every social media post they screenshot.
Okay, well, I didn't ask if anyone in the gang unit would. I asked if you did. Did you write a report about exactly which users you were following to pick up specific posts?
Mr. Sharp, you've asked me that before, and I've told you I've compiled every user you see in the folder is who I was monitoring.
Okay, and what about is there no one else that you were monitoring that's not in the folder?
That folder pretty much covers a whole lot of people.
Okay, and we just take it from you. No reports.
Whether you have all the posts, that I captured. They're in a folder, gathered, collectively organized in a folder for you. So I don't know what, do you want a list of screen names that were captured?
Just want documentation of the work you did.
It's documented in a folder that was served in Discovery.
Some of those posts that you deemed relevant are actually lyrics to songs, correct?
I have to see what you're referring to.
Could you, Ms. Knight, could you display 471 VV? 471? Okay, this is Mr. Nichols, Comarvius Nichols, right?
Correct.
Okay, and 471 VV is exactly how the state has put this into evidence.
Correct.
All right, and we're going to get back to exactly what this is in a little bit.
Correct.
But those words, what you saying, I run with cold-blooded killers, okay? When are you saying that you collected this?
Probably 2 days or a day or two after the murder of Mr. Drinks.
Okay, and those words, those were written by Mr. Nichols?
No, it's a song by NBA Youngboy that he used he chose those words to put on the post 2 days after Mr. Drinks was killed.
He chose those words?
So what this is it's an Instagram story, and you can select a song and which portion of that song. You can select anywhere from 10 seconds to 30 seconds, and you select that, and you can overlay it onto your story. That's what was done here.
Those words?
Mr. Nichols made the social media post, and in the post, he picked this song to accompany his post.
All right, you know what? We're not going to get back to this. Let's deal with this right now. Mr. Kokomo, if you would. What is it, 60? Yes, 60. Okay, Your Honor, may Mr. Kokomo approach?
Yes.
This is what Mr. Atkins. Okay. All right. Investigator VIVERITO. Okay. Start from the beginning. Go.
We're going to hear the audio.
We can.
I mean,
Do you?
yeah, so that is a screen. Oh, can I explain?
Yeah.
Okay, Mr. Kokomo, I think the witnesses had sufficient time to view it. So thank you, Mr. Kokomo. Do you recognize what's been marked as 60 VV?
Yes, it's a video of his story in its entirety.
Okay, and is that the way you saw it on social media?
It was both a video that was submitted in discovery and a photo that was submitted. The relevant portion of that would have been relevant to our investigation was that you're posting a video the day after somebody's murdered in your presence.
We haven't even gotten there yet. Do you recognize
Yes.
that video? Okay, Your Honor, I would move to admit DS-60 into evidence.
Admit it.
Permission to publish.
You may.
Your Honor, maybe report before it's published.
Yes.
The state breaking down, y'all. They fumbling. What y'all think? Shark cooking too heavy? They trying to take a time out? They still got 50 more minutes. The judge says she willing to go to 6. What y'all think? What he doing? What type of cooking? Let me know in the comments. What type of cooking he doing? I ain't even gonna lie, my man went. You know what I mean? He went Hell's Kitchen on them, didn't he? Yo took the oodles and noodle challenge in Hell's Kitchen. You know that's gonna get crazy. He wild with it. I mean, they set it up. They set it up for him to win. Hold on, y'all. Let's wait till they come back. We actually live, so I can't fast forward. So hold on.
You know,
I think it says a lot the way they got to dip off. She tried to call for a timeout real quick because she know it was ready to get hectic. It's getting kind of hectic. You feel me? Speaking of that, she remind me of Holmes. I got the power. Ass face. Yeah, what's up, though? Cause I will attack, and you don't want that. Yeah. Y'all don't know nothing about them lyrics, boy. Yeah. What? You better ask your moms. Tell your moms, pull that up. I told y'all, bro, listen, when you get up tomorrow and go to work, turn that on. Snap. I got the power. Watch how your day go. You gonna be getting money for real. Especially, listen, you got some type of sunroof or something? Yeah, open that. Cause it's ready to get steamy. I'm telling you, turn it on. You know what I mean? Watch. Roll your windows down and put it up, turn it up. Watch how people around you. Everybody around you gonna give you different respect for that. Cause they know. I'm telling you, bro. Try if you out at night and you turn it on, oh man, you might have to roll the windows up. That's too much of a party for them out there. Yeah, that what? Late night, you turn that on, you pull up to the red light, man. People go, it's gonna be a disco. Roll all 4 windows down, man. And let it bump. Let it blare. Yeah, let it blare Underwood. You feel me? Yeah, just sit back. Act like you don't even know what's going on, like it's regular. Like, sit there and act like it's Gucci, man. Yeah. Like you gangster while you got it on. Preferably, if you got shades on, oh, man, it's crucial. Matter of fact, you should live stream it. Yeah. Mount your cam, right? And then look, boom, turn it on and then just come through. Yeah. Mount your cam so people could see what's going on the outside so they could peep the perimeter. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Straight like that. Look, after you play that, this is how you gonna run it back. You gonna bounce from that to Tony. It feels good. I'm telling you. Watch how you be
bumping.
bumping.
Given the time, and we need to sort out something anyway, we're gonna break with y'all for the day.
Oh, they
And
geeking.
So we'll see y'all again tomorrow at 9.
Oh, they geeking.
We have a late start, 10:30 with y'all. Is that right? Whatever I told y'all before is what I mean. I can't remember what it was, but whatever I told you. Everybody just be here then. 10:30. 10:30? Hang on, y'all.
It feels good.
Let's see.
Yeah.
Today it's 10. It's what we have. What's what I have on my calendar. So.
All right.
10. See y'all at 10.
All right. You little.
Good try, back.
Yeah, you little. Leave a comment, you little.